together, and together we will keep watch in the dark. We will start by me lighting the 7 candles, which we will gradually extinguish. And at the end of the service, a way of releasing the grief, the pain, the aches, the sorrow, we will make a resounding noise. You can wail, you can stomp your feet, however feels right, whatever feels right for you to let it all out. Has been a tumultuous few days filled with highs and lows. You were there in the crowd when Jesus rode into Jerusalem earlier in the week. There were some of your own palm branches. You and your neighbors waved to welcome him. There was such excitement in the crowd, such hope and anticipation. Here was the great teacher and prophet riding into the city, riding up to the temple. Here was the one whose very presence would heal people. Here was the Jewish leader that called for freedom from oppression. You have lived in Jerusalem for many years. You have seen how it has changed.
At first, the Roman governors let the Jewish people live in relative peace. But then the tax collectors wanted more and more money to send to Caesar. Then there was less and less freedom of movement. Then there was less and less freedom of expression, less freedom of worship. Some of the religious leaders got caught up in trying to appease the Roman authorities. But uprising after uprising hardened Caesar's heart toward Jerusalem. Prophet after prophet was put to death. Now Jerusalem is a wreck of its former self. The city is gripped with fear and wrecked with grief. A huge ring of crucifixes circles the Temple Mount, each marked with the blood of a martyr. The glorious Golden City reeks of carnage. It reeks of greed. It reeks of war. To see Jesus come up to Jerusalem from Galilee was almost too good to be true. Here was a Jew bringing a message of hope and freedom to his fellow Jews. Here was a leader unlike the others, not a warrior, but a peacemaker.
But now you have heard that he too has been captured. Now you have heard that he too is in the hands of the Roman guards. Last night on your way home, you were crossing a courtyard where you ran into Roman soldiers searching for the disciples who were traveling with Jesus. The soldiers were asking people, where these disciples were hiding. They were accusing people of being with Jesus, and these frightened people were denying it. Would they all be arrested eventually and put to death? You wondered. How far would Pontius Pilate go to put down this latest threat to his power? How many more would need to die this Passover season to appease Rome?
And then today, you heard stories of Jesus being mocked by the Roman guards. Some say that Herod himself wanted to see Jesus at his palace, but this seems unbelievable. You know that no good can ever come of being in the custody of the Romans. You know their brutal tactics. So it does not surprise you that the final decision was made that Jesus should be crucified. They had crucified hundreds of activists before him. So why not him too?
But this time it feels different. This time it feels more significant. This time it feels as if a truly holy man is being put to death. It feels as if hope itself will hang upon the cross. You know how Jesus' life will end. You have seen it before.
The guards will make him carry the arm beam of his cross through the streets. They will force his already whipped body to climb a hill outside the city walls. There, among the rats and the vultures, they will nail him up and leave him to die in agony. Sometimes the death is quick. Sometimes a strong man might live a day or two. They will station a centurion nearby to be sure Jesus does not receive help from fellow Jews. Those men who followed him to Jerusalem will remain in hiding, fearing the same. And when it is over, one more Jewish rabble-rouser will be dead. When it is over, Jerusalem will trudge through another day of its war-soaked life.
But you decide you need to see this terrible thing for yourself. You decide you are going to be in the crowd as Jesus carries his cross, just as you were in the crowd when he went by in glory on Palm Sunday. You will follow him as far as you can. You might even leave the city walls and see where they take him. Though you know there's nothing to be done about his fate. You decide that Jesus should not die alone. He should have at least a few believers nearby. This tragedy must have witnesses. You decide you can bear the pain and sorrow. So you follow.
Nothing that happens surprises you. It is just as bad as you thought it would be. But there are some women around, fairly near the foot of the cross. You think you see Jesus' mother there. If she can stand it, so can you. So you wait. You watch. You hold your breath. You offer a prayer. You cry a little. You rage. You see it through to the end.
Reverend Howard N. Dana, The Story of Tenebrae Weekend.
they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord?
The truth is, I've never cared for the national anthem. If you think about it, it's not a good song. Too high for most of us with the rocket's red glare, and then there are the bombs. Always, always, there is war and bombs. Once, I sang it at homecoming and threw even the tenacious high school band off key. But the song didn't mean anything, just a call to the field, something to get through before the pummeling of youth. And what of the stanzas we never sing? The third that mentions no refuge could save the hireling and the slave? Perhaps the truth is, every song of this country has an unsung third stanza. Something brutal snaking underneath us as we blindly sing the high notes with a beer sloshing in the stands, hoping our teams win. Don't get me wrong, I do like the flag, how it undulates in the wind like water, elemental, and best when it's humbled, brought to its knees, clung to by someone who has lost everything. When it's not a weapon, when it flickers, when it folds up so perfectly you can keep it until it's needed, until you can love it again, until the song in your mouth feels like sustenance. A song where the notes are sung by even the ageless woods, the short grass plains, the river gorge, the fistful of land left unpoisoned. That song, that's our birthright, that's sung in silence when it's too hard to go on. That sounds like someone's rough fingers weaving into another's. That sounds like a match being lit in an endless cave. The song that says, my bones are your bones, and your bones are my bones. And isn't that enough? Ada Limon, a new national anthem.
Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Oh, It causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree?
Dear trans, non-binary, genderqueer, and gender expansive friends and kin, and those of us whose gender is survival. Let me explain. No. There is too much. Let me sum up. You are not hard to love and respect. Your existence is a blessing. Your pronouns are not a burden or a trial. They are part of your name, just shorter. Someone getting them wrong is not a poor reflection on you. It is not your fault. Your body really and truly belongs to you. No one else. The stories of your body, the names of your body's parts, your body's privacy, the sum of your body's glory. It is not okay for anyone to press their story of you back to the beginning of your or our liberation. We will find the people ready to be on the freedom for the people way. We will go on. No one can rename you. No one can rename you other. It can't stick as you offer the gift of being and saying who you are. Mostly, though, your story belongs to you. Your joy and complexity is beautiful. However, you may choose to tell it or not tell it. Some folks, cis, may take their liberty or an unholy license. You are beloved. Please keep to our shared tasks of healing, getting free. Reverend Julian Jamaica Soto.
Were you there when they pierced him in his side? Were you there when they pierced him in his side? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they pierced him in his side?
No one leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark. You only run for the border when you see the whole city running as well. Your neighbors running faster than you, breath bloody in their throats. The boy you went to school with, who kissed you dizzy behind the old tin factory, is holding a gun bigger than his body. You only leave home when home won't let you stay. No one leaves home unless home chases you. Fire under feet, hot blood in your belly. It is not something you ever thought of doing until the blade burnt threats into your neck. And even then, you carried the anthem under your breath, only tearing up your passport at an airport toilet, sobbing as each mouthful of paper made it clear that you wouldn't be going back. You have to understand that no one puts their children in a boat unless the water is safer than land. No one burns their palms under trains beneath carriages. No one spends days and nights in the stomach of a truck feeding on newspaper unless the miles traveled means something more than journey. No one crawls under fences. No one wants to be bitten, pitied. No one chooses refugee camps or strip searches when your body is left aching, or prison, unless prison is safer than a city of fire. And one prison guard in the night is better than the truckload of men who look like your father. No one could take it. No one could stomach it. No one's skin would be tough enough. The go home blacks, refugees, dirty immigrants, asylum seekers, sucking up our country dry, niggers with their hands out. They smell strange, savage, messed up their country, and now they want to mess ours up. How do the words, the dirty look, roll off your back? Maybe because the blow is softer than a limb torn off, or the words more tender than 14 men between your legs, or the insults are easier to swallow than rubble, than bone, than your child body in pieces. I want to go home, but home is the mouth of a shark. Home is the barrel of the gun. No one would leave home unless home chased you to the shore, unless home told you to quicken your legs, leave your clothes behind, crawl through the desert, wade through the oceans, drown, save, be hunger, beg. Forget your pride. Your survival is more important. No one leaves home until home is a sweaty voice in your ear saying, leave. Run away from me now. Don't know what I've become, but I know that anywhere is safer than here. Worcestershire, home.
Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the sun refused to shine?
It came not with teeth in shouts or screams, but with defeat in rescheduled things, a dozen meetings dissolved into grievances. It came not in the throwing of stones, just like how tyrants never announce themselves. It came in our hunger and demand for more, so we let them deliver pretty packages right to our door. It came in their prejudice, armed for protection from domestic enemies entirely manufactured, so we let them take what they want. It came in their volume and we responded in silence, so we let them say who we are. It came in their patriotism, displaying entitlement, so we let them have our stars. It came in their prayers veiled in violence, so we let them have our gods. Fascism happened when we didn't take action, justified to cry, process or deny, when we just didn't have the time or wanted to hide and had families to feed, reputations to breed, and in the unheard utterance of, at least it's not me. No, it's not me, it's over there. Overseas. I don't have to see. I'll turn off my TV. It's my right to defend what's mine. I'm justified. I'm sanctified. I'm not like them. Look at their skin. Look at their sins. It's not me, not my family. At least it's not me. One by one, the candles went out. One by one, we're expendable now. One by one, the darkness drowns. One by one, our division erase when the graves are the same. But somewhere, a soldier disobeys an order, planting a seed where a bomb should have been, executed for defection while waiting for spring. Leisha Matthias, War.
Were when the ground began to shake? Were you there when thunder filled the skies? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the earth refused to turn?
Don't forget to mourn properly, the way you don't want anyone to see wailing, thrashing, heaving with each breath, releasing, purging. Mourn all that you have lost, who you have lost, both in passing over and through, leaving behind an emptiness that draws up and squeezes heartily. Mourn with no regard to place or time, feeling deeply the etching of each second across bearskin, leaving behind canyons to fill. Mourn until eyes bleary and aching strain to see. Mourn until your chest unclenches and breath eases. Mourn until your spirit sighs with relief, settles, and snores. Mourn. By Karen Bell. Don't forget to mourn.
Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb?
This is our last reading of the night. And after we extinguish this last candle, you are invited to make a loud sound. Let go and release of what these readings have brought to the surface for you. Use your voice, stomp your feet, an object. We have hymnals there. You can open and close them. That also makes sound. Release. And let us end with this meditative prayer. Spirit of life and death, thou who art as present to us in our suffering as in our well-being, abide with us in this permeable time between dusk and dark. Soothe the secret pains we carry. Bless us with the courage to move towards our grief and not away. When all is hidden, when we find ourselves moving among the shadows, when we do not know the way, quiet our hearts, still our relentlessness, our restlessness. Help us to embrace the unknown, to hold the mystery, and to let ourselves be held by it. For thou art the great hiddenness. And yet we know that our breath is not so close to us as thy presence. Abide with us, O Spirit of compassion, as the power of healing, the assurance of peace, the love that will not let us go. Reverend Celie Katovich, help us to hold the mystery. Thank you, everyone. I'll bring you a little light.